All right.
Let's go. Step one. I'll do this one with you, but after this, guys, I'm hoping you're on your own. Not on your own, but, you know, I'm trailing you. First step is to do what? Find the period. Okay. Well, the period is always going to be 2 pi divided by b. Well, that's 2 pi divided by, where's the b?
Pi.
It's the number times theta. Oh, by the way, Davidson, I think you're the only guy that was gone yesterday. Is that right? Oh, Mason. Theta is right here. X is theta. So if you want to cross that out, you sure can. Okay? Anyways, the number times theta is pi, so divide by pi. Help me out, guys. What's the period?
2.
2 what? 2 radians. Okay? That's it. So this sine curve going up, down, up is going to repeat itself after how many radians? 2. And remember, 3.14 is pi. So this is going to repeat itself before you get to 180 degrees, because pi is 180. All right, this is a quick sine function, or cosine function, sorry. 2, step 2. Are you moving your pencils?
Mm-hmm.
I got about 5 of you in my eyes that say you're not even moving your pencil. You should do this, guys. Next is what? So where do you start? Start at this point right there. Okay, well, how do we get that point? C over B, good. But hang on, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go inside here. And you know what I want that number to be? I want cosine of 0. I know cosine is 0. Here's 0. That's 1, 0, right? Radius is 1. That's 1, 0. What's cosine of 0? 1. It's the x value. Okay, just make that number 0, guys. So go like this. When will pi times theta equal 0? Divide by what? Divide by pi, and you get what? Oh, so if I start at 0 radians, I'll get my answer. So, how do I get the answer? I knew you'd say plug it in. That's not what I would do. You can. You can plug it in. Here, let's just do it for fun, okay? What is pi times 0? 0. What's cosine of 0? 1. What's 1 times 3? 3. The answer is 3. Here's the deal. I didn't have to do that. What did we say yesterday? Where did we say cosine starts?
Max.
Always at the max. Oh, if it always starts at the max, where is the max?
1.
It's whatever the amplitude is. This thing starts at the highest point. We said this is the highest point. 3 is the highest. So you can say, oh, wherever I start my cosine function, it always starts at the max. 3, because that's 3. You get that? Okay, so that's where it starts, 0, 3. Where does it end? Well, where does it end? Okay, well, how do we get where it ends? We start at 0, and then we just add what to it? The period. What's the period, Davis? 2. So you just got to go like this. I start at 0 radians, then I add the period on top of it. I start where? 2. Oh, I start at 0,3. I end at 2 something. You know what that is? Say it again, Kyle. Why 3? Okay, look. You started at 3. Guess what? Here's what cosine looks like. Starts high. Goes to what?
0.
0 goes to what?
-3.
Goes to what?
0.
Goes to what? 3. It's 3. Notice these two numbers are what? The same number. They'll always be the same. The starting point and the ending point have the same y values. You okay with that? What's next? 5 key points. Okay, so somebody, oh no, you don't have to tell me. There it is. That's the first key point. Here's the last key point. Okay, so there's how many more?
3.
3 more. But you have to understand you're going from point to point to point. So how many times am I jumping points? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm making 4 jumps. So what you do to get your interval, what do you count by? You take the period. No,
Order.
you want force. You're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. You take, what? How do you get your intervals? Take your period, divide by 4.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, what was your period in this one? 2 radians. So take 2 radians, cut it into 4 equal parts. You're counting by what? Halves. You just count by 1 half, another 1 half, another 1 half. So here's 0. What's the next radian I plug in? 1 half. Another half. 1. Another half. 1 and a half or 3 halves. Yep. Okay. Got it. You okay? Now here comes the answer. You know cosine starts high at 3. But the next one, the next key point is going to go to what? 0. Okay, you got it. It's 0, -3, 0, +3. Do you have any idea what the next point is after this?
0.
No, right here.
2.5.
2.5, comma,
0.
0. Does that make sense? You add a half, 2.5, and once you go from max, then you go back to 0. So it'll be 2.5, 0. I don't need it, so I'm not going to write it. Step 4 is done. I don't know what step 5 says. Use the amplitude. Oh, I already did. Hey, I already did, didn't I? Well, the amplitude was 3, so I said 3, -3, 3. I was doing it. Step 5, I kind of did it all. 4 and 5, I did it together. Step 6 says what? Use the d value to move your sine function or cosine function up or down. What was d up there?
0.
Is it 0? There is no d. Yeah, you're right. It's 0. So I don't have to go up or down with my graph, so I don't have to add anything to the y values or subtract. I'm done. That's it. Graphing. Do you have graph paper?
No.
There's no, okay, make your own graph. Just make your own graph. It's not hard. Remember this? This is theta, right? X-axis is theta. You know you're going up to 2 radians. So there's 2 radians. There's 1 radian. There's half a radian. And 3 halves radian, 0 radians. What was the highest number? 3. Lowest number? -3. Graph the first point, which was 0, 3. Second point was how many radians? Half a radian, comma, 0, 1 radian, 0, 3. And now you should know, guys, you went this far back. What would -1/2 get you?
0.
0. What would 2.5 get you?
0.
0. Okay, so you should know this. It's just rounded. From yesterday, you should know this. Okay? Good? That's what the graph looks like. Good? Okay, go to the next slide. Get started. Just get started. I know you probably could do it, but I'm going to catch up to you. I'm going to give you a minute head start. This is very similar to the test right here. Where's B? Which one's B? Yeah, this is B right here. Put it there. What's the period on this one?
Pi.
Pi. Do you guys know why it's pi? I mean, I know we got pi, but do you know why?
Twos cancel.
You people that were here yesterday, not Mason, not Davidson, what was this number again? Think your transformations. It's a horizontal what? Compression of 1/2. You took your normal period 2 pi, you cut it in half, now what is it? 2 pi went to what?
Pi.
That's why the answer is pi. I mean, I'm just doing number crunching, but that's why it's pi, because you get a horizontal compression. Okay? Step 2. Where do you start? Do the work. You know you want this what here?
0.
Because you know the sine of 0, don't you guys? Sine of 0 is? No. You're right, Kyle. Sorry, you're wrong. Sorry. It's 1, 0, so it's 0. Okay. So here's the deal. You want this 0. So when is 2x minus pi? When is that going to be 0? Solve it. 2x equals pi, or better yet, what? Pi over 2. So if you let your theta be pi over 2, you'll plug it in, and you will get 0 in there. You guys should all know this. Sine of 0 is 0, and 0 times 3 is 0, right? That's why the answer is 0. But the amplitude, oh, hang on. I guess I should have said that. I should have asked you this question. Where does sine start? Sine always starts at 0. Where does cosine start? Maximum. Sine starts at 0. So the answer is what? The answer is 0. And once again, I tried to prove it to you. I said, if I put this in here, I'll get sine of 0, which is 0. And 0 times 3 is 0. So that's why it's 0. Don't look at the 1. The 1 will do less. Don't even look at 1. Okay? All right, so that's where I start. Where do I end? This is number 3. Ends at, well, take your starting point, which was what? Pi over 2, and add to it your period. Your period is what? Your period is pi. So what is 1 pi plus 1/2 pi? 3/2 pi, yeah. So it's going to end right here. It's going to end right there, guys. What's the y value going to be? It's going to be the same. Yeah. The starting point and the ending point have exactly the same y value. Okay. Now, just a quick question. Why was the answer 0? Why was it 0? If you're not going to plug it in, you're just going to call the answer 0. Why was it 0? Because sine starts at 0. Where does cosine start? At the max. And when you say max, all you got to do is look at the amplitude. Okay? Are you good? Okay, step 4 is do what? Find 5 key points. Let's go find 5 key points. The key points are starting point, ending point. You got to help me out because I can't remember them.
Pi over 2.
Pi over 2, that's where we start. Where do we end?
3 pi 2.
3/2 pi, gotcha. Okay, so there's a few more in between, right? But you know what I don't know? I don't know what I'm counting by. How do I know what to count by? I figure out the intervals. Well, you know your period is what? Pi. Take the period, cut it into 4 equal parts. So basically, take pi and divide by 4. What do you do with pi over 4? Pi over 4, there's nothing to do. You're counting by what? 1/4 pi. I'd say 1/4. You're going to count by 1/4 pi, another fourth, another fourth, another fourth, another fourth. Okay? Here's the problem. Students struggle with this because they don't understand. You should probably convert this to, okay, this is 1/2, but in force, 1/2 is really 2 fourths. So this is 2 fourths pi. Add another fourth. What do you get? 3 fourths pi. Add another fourth to this.
4 fourths.
But 4 fourths is what? Pi. Add another fourth to 4 fourths. 5 fourths pi. And then 5 fourths plus another fourth. 6 fourths, but 6 fourths is 3/2. You get what I'm doing? I'm counting by fourths. 1/4 pi. Okay, the answers are easy, I think. Ready? Sine starts at 0, but where does sine go? From 0. Maximum. The maximum will be the amplitude. What was the amplitude up there?
3.
Okay, so you know what? It's going to go from 0 to 3. From the maximum, it goes where? Back to 0. Then where? Minimum. From minimum where? Back to 0. I could keep this going forever. Okay? But I'm not going to. That's it. Those are your 5 key points. But what about step 6? Did you read step 6? Look at the D value. The D value is right here, guys. It's right there. Plus 1 means the whole sine function goes where? Raise it 1. Which means every y value changes by 1, and you're going to do what? Add 1. Okay, ready? This 0 is not 0, it's what? 3 is 4. 0 is 1. Negative 3 is 0 is 1. There you go. Now, you guys are smart enough to just do step 4, 5, 6 all at once. You guys could have probably just added the 1 to those maximums and minimums. You could have done it. I just didn't want to do that because I thought I'd confuse some of you, but I didn't want to do it. Okay, go graph them. I'll graph them behind you. Okay? You're starting at pi over 2. Oh, we're going to go high. Okay. So pi over 2, 1. Pi over 2, 1. This would be 3/4 pi. This would be 5/4 pi. And this would be 6/4. So the whole thing's going to happen here to here. Where is this one? 3/4 pi. 4. Where is pi? Pi 1. When you plug in 5/4 pi, what do you get? Negative 2. Then you're back here. So you can kind of see it already. It goes like this, this, this. And now the period is over. So the period happened much faster than 2 pi. Okay, if I extended this further out, guys, just tell me, if you went to 1/4 pi, what would the answer be? Negative 2. If you went to 0 radians, what would the answer be? 0. So it would go like this, this.
That'd be 1.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. 1. And then at negative 1/4 pi, what would it be? 4. Okay, so go like this. Okay. And of course, on this side, it'd do the same thing, right? Like that, okay? Sometimes the instructions say, give me the graph over a two period graph. So you have to extend it and go a little further. Yeah.
3 pi should be at 1, not 0.
Which one?
3 pi over 2, you have.
Yeah, I missed it, didn't I? Right here. Not here. Don't look there. Good catch. Good? Okay. All right. There's one more. Do it on your own. I'll do it. I just want you to see if you can do it, okay? There is just a slight wrinkle to this next one. Be careful. Just be careful. period to be 1/2 pi. Got it? Okay. Just making sure. I got the starting point to be pi over 4 comma. Where does sine start? 0. Okay, now you guys you're doing more than I asked you to do. You're right. I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to wait till the end to add 2. So if you want to do it now, go ahead and do it. Okay. Where's the end point? Ends at? Well, you basically take your starting point, which is pi over 4, and you add to it the period. What's the period? Pi over 2. Now, without me getting common denominators, that's 1/2 pi plus 1/4 pi. Do you know what it is? Should I do the work? Should I show you the work? Can you take 1/2 plus 1/4? What is it? 3 what?
3/4.
3/4.
3/4.
3/4. Okay. So there it is, guys. It's 3/4 pi, isn't it? So you start where? At 3/4 pi, comma. Same as the starting point, right? This and this is the same thing. 0. Good? All right. Now get those 5 key points. The 5 key points are, hang on, you have to start here. Pi over 4 comma 0. You have to end here. 3/4 pi comma 0. And then you got 1, 2, 3. All right. And then you got to figure out what's the interval. What are you counting by? Well, the period divided by 4 is what you're counting by. And the period was? Pi over 2 divided by what? 4. And you're not going to divide by 4. You're going to do what? Multiply by the reciprocal, 1/4. What are you counting by? 1/8 pi. This is not fun. 1/8 pi. Do you know what this is right here? What is 1/4 pi when it comes to ace? What is it? Yeah, it's 2 pi. So that's really 2 pi. What's the next one? 3 pi. What's the next one? 4 But that's just 1/2 pi. What's the next one? 5 pi. Next. 6 6 is 3/4. It worked. We got. If you get the last x value, you did it right. Okay, ready? Here it is. This is the wrinkle I was talking about. This is 0. Where does sine usually go after 0? Maximum.
Towards minimum.
Why is it going minimum?
It's negative.
That negative is a reflection over the x-axis. You get it? So the maximums now turn into the minimums turn into the maximums. So where are we going? What was the amplitude? The amplitude was 1? Well, I got, all it is the number in front of sine. Oh, it's right here. It's 1. The amplitude is not -1. It's always positive. It's 1. But because it's negative, it's a reflection. So you will say not 1. You'll say what? -1. 0 minimum. 0 maximum. 0. That's it. The only problem is, step 6 said, look at D. What's D? +2. All of these points have to go where? 2 up. So all the y values will change to what? 2 bigger, right? Okay, this is what? 2. This is?
1.
1. This is?
2.
2. This is?
3.
3. This is?
2.
2. You know what, guys? I know you guys can do that in your head quicker than I did, but I have to go step by step so everybody sees what I'm doing. If you feel like you get it and you want to go quicker, you can go quicker, but be careful. All right, here we go. I'll graph this pretty quick. I don't think the graphing part is hard for you. I'm starting at 1/4. But you guys, I'm counting by eighths. You know what I do? 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8. That's what I do. If you count by eighths, basically this is what you get. I don't think I have to go any further than that, do I? I counted by eighths on the number line. 1/8 pi, 2/8 pi, okay? Here I go. Where is this? Pi over 4, 2. Uh-oh. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Pi over 4, 2. 3/8 pi, 1. Pi over 2. You know, when I get to that middle point, I call that the midline. Do you understand what I mean by the midline? So the midline is the 0, by the way. It's like the x-axis went up. 5/8 pi was what? 3. 3/4 pi was back to the midline. So it kind of goes like this. Good? That is a period. Okay, if I extended it, if they asked me for 2 periods, I'd probably just do something like this. I'd say at 1/8 pi, where am I at? Where am I at 1/8 pi?
3.
Yeah, back your maximum. Where are you at 0? 2. Where are you at negative 1/8 pi? 1. So, you know, you could just kind of do one of these, and you could probably go out a little further here, I guess. Here, 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 you know what I'm saying? With your graph paper, it's pretty easy. Okay? That's all I have. That's all I want to do with you. So, yesterday, you walked in, you felt like that, kind of, I think. I need a little bit of help. Now, what do you feel like? You feel better. You can't really say this. You can't say this until you actually do it. So tomorrow when you walk in, give me one of these. I got it. Okay?
Boys,
If you want to do one of these, that's fine too. That means I can teach you.
I'll teach the lesson tomorrow.
You don't have glasses.
You're going, yeah, I got it. I'm smart. You don't get it? That's that intellectual look, you know? Haven't you ever heard, like, you want to look smart, you pull off your glasses?
No, I have glasses.
You kind of want to know, okay, I got it. Yeah. There's a lot of money going out, too. You think you need the money, we could get a pizza party. Pizza party on December 21st. Okay? We heard her. She said it.
Pizza flavored shakes.
Alright. Okay, you got some time. I think you still have time. Oh, yeah. We'll need one more sheet.
We have 6 minutes.
You have 6 minutes. You can probably. I go to number 40 right now. Go to 40, see if you can do it. Yeah.
I can take my shoulder and go back down to 0.
So you just have your chest.
Oh, there is a feed on.
Your shoulder is 0.
Probably one. Does it just say X?
Mr. Castleberry.
Oh, X over 3. It's 1X over 3. It's 1/3. Yep. Sorry about
Your head is actually.
went down at 3:05 and 3:10.
I wasn't here yesterday.
No, I went down to the office to give you your assignment, and then they said your mom or dad. Your sister. Oh, you have a sister here? Oh. But anyways, I was trying to get down there. I didn't get down. Then I was trying to email you just to tell you to watch YouTube, because I thought you were going to be on YouTube. Would you have got the email? Oh, you do check a lot? Or does it notify you? But you check off. So I could have, I was huge. I was going down, I wonder if something is weird. All I was going to say is just make sure you watch YouTube. Yeah, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Without being here, yes, that's
I didn't even understand.
His name was test. That's not just did you get that? I put it on. Grade 5.
Just remind me what it was.
It was 4-1 and 4-3. I think it was.
Oh, you put it in the folder?
Put it on it because inside was graded assignments, so I didn't want to get super.
You know, I remember I did enter homework, but I do not remember yours. Like I remember, I didn't have much to enter.
But like, I just
Let me
put it
know.
on the.
Yeah, let me know. This was yesterday after school?
Yeah.
Like what time? I wasn't in the room?
No.
Right. Okay. You're talking these red folders?
Yeah. UK.
Thinking about your cow.
Okay, I did enter much yesterday, so it has to be.
No.
No, I did. I don't remember seeing your name. That's why.
Paul can though. He's always here after school and stuff. The teacher.
It's not.
They're clever.
Huh?
They're getting better.
No, I saw that.
They're all such a stretch.
Here's the word.
You're right.
Huh?
Yeah, you're right.
I said it.
Two schools that are both in this town.
Did you give me this one?
Okay, so if you know you big, then what makes sense?
I know it's gonna be important.
Might have missed.
What was the last?
You don't remember if we put in a pile? So,
What was the?
4-0.
How many shots?
16 and 9.
Couldn't seem to put the biscuit in it.
69 till
We couldn't put the biscuit in the basket.
that's a lot of shots on the boulder.
We go like that.
okay. What's this? Yeah, I don't think that's it. Oh, there's oh, this is stuff I still have to correct. Oh, you?
You already told me that.
That's you. Well, I'm sure it's in there. I just what I'm saying is, I remember putting these in a pile, and I said, I gotta correct these, and I didn't correct them. Okay? So you're okay. I'll get them in by 4 o'clock. Oh, yes, you're gonna travel. Next summer? This is for next summer. Oh, that's one. Okay. Who do I give it to? Okay. Yeah, you might. Take a look. Anyways, yeah, I think if you're not math knowledge, you lose me. And I corrected these already.
Yeah.
No, that's the I don't have the worksheet. This is the worksheet.
What?
I mean,
The bell ring?
Dead.
Alright, wait up, boys.
You're not in it?
That was he saw.
Oh, right. Let's check mine.
He's so funny when he's so good too. I know.
That's all the quiz.
Are you retaping?
I got you a 9.
My arm hurts so
So I
bad.
did not push it.
What did you get?
What's it telling you?
Trying to hear
Like,
things.
I
Just
Put that down and stick it here.
I thought there was a phone in the garbage, but there was a reflectiveness of the case. So someone threw it away.
He's so
Yeah, somebody called us. Center on Korea?
Or like me, I have to just.
Check my
No, it's not. That's my granddad. Oh, man, seriously? Do you think you can get that some of the Soviet equipment that's
That made us strong.
Hey, John, I actually thought about the first time I
Have
Korea.
fun, but can you
Know why?
Why?
Because think about it.
No, but you know that
from no one that it was effect 2.
Friday to Thursday, Monday to Friday.
No, if I effect
You
2
didn't know
in
that?
Korea.
How
I
did
can,
you
are you given the position of power? No.
rank yourself the wrong person?
I will attack wherever I want.
You kill you.
Are you this guy?
I'll kill you then, I guess.
Everyone died.
That's okay. But walking in here, you maybe were this.
I am the wiener.
You didn't really get it, but now you feel like it's in.
So,
Go do it for
I did. I used it.
that. You would have.
That's what she went against.
I don't care. I think.
I just got one shot. I just got one shot. And Ray Mike just got one shot.
how do you get past that? How do you get past Mark? Because you're not past Mark.
I think it's, I mean, they're all 40 plus, you know? Yeah, 40 plus. 40 to 50 attack.
Yeah, but then she's I just. Oh.
We have
Tons of food.
Well, I see how the game works.
Okay.
I'm gonna see how you get past Mark.
What's it called?
It's not in the green book. No, I'm not gonna see it.
Worse than I honestly don't want food for this
Yeah.
That's probably not true. That's why I have earbuds.
Yeah,
Flip them.
okay.
It's probably not the right one.
You can pay attention.
I don't know if it's in that one.
Better go than a long time ago.
Oh, it was this.
Oh, man. Hard to.
I would
Maybe
be
it
back.
All right.
You're
All
really,
right.
really.
Okay. So I need to get Hamlet Plus.
I got a 20. So what's your list? I mean, that's not bad.
Effective.
We're getting that. We're getting like 29.
You suck.
Can you see line on there? Pretty sure it's
Yeah. Huh?
24.
That's a +4 in Mike, because 50% more damage.
You
You don't have mandates,
But I don't have any mandates.
I ordered, so it's like Fortnite. Strap yourself in mandates.
I did. I just didn't do some of the graphing, but I could do
I
that.
won 3 games in a row.
It's only about those.
Yeah. I'm more excited about it.
You have a mom here.
Okay. Here we go. I think it's a short one. Uh-oh, forgot to shut my record.